It should go without saying that most writers are also avid readers. If one didn't read at all, their wanting to write would be strange. If you don't appreciate food, why become a chef? Most people, even authors, still read for fun, and it's usually an author's ultimate goal to earn an income by selling their own stories. However, an author may employ their writing skills in other areas to pad their earnings, such as by editing the books of others, writing a blog, or, of course, sharing online book reviews. Hello, I'm Riley, and welcome to Otherworldly Fiction. On this channel, I discuss books, fantasy, and offer advice for readers and writers alike. If you like the sound of any of that or are enjoying this video, consider subscribing. Sharing book reviews for a living essentially translates to reading for a living. If publishing their own stories didn't work out, this would be an author's next best dream. That said, it isn't all about money. Reading for the sake of reading is good. Reading improves one's own writing, and sharing those books you've read could help readers to give your own books a chance. The first reason you should review books is for another income stream. Since most authors enjoy reading regardless, being paid to do so would only be a bonus. There are a number of ways a writer could do this. One can become a professional critic. One can also start out casually by sharing their reviews either through their blog or their YouTube channel in the hopes of someday building an audience, along with a profit. There are even websites which offer ARCs, or advanced reader copies, for people to provide feedback on. A prospective reader may be expected to publish a review on Goodreads or Amazon upon completing their read-through. In other cases, they may be acting as beta readers, catching any mistakes before the book is released to the public. It should be noted, though, that these websites can come with steep competition. What's more, payments may vary by job, and since each is a freelance assignment, income month to month won't necessarily be as consistent as some would like. Still, if a writer needs the extra funds, reviewing a book or two could be fun. Plus, you are usually given a free book for the purposes of review. Who can say no to free books? The second reason is inspiration. At the end of the day, reading is fun and can provide a way for an author to find stress relief. Moreover, for writers caught in a creative rut, reading an especially good book can remind them why they wanted to write in the first place. The best books are those within our favorite genres, provide inspiration for writers. Writers reviewing books old and new may find ideas from each they can apply to their own work, and ultimately fall in love with reading and writing all over again. Reading is its own reward, and having a job that forces you to do more of it can only be good for you. The third reason is self-improvement. Reading has been linked to improved brain health, but this isn't a science article. Reading might make a writer smarter, yes, but it also improves the writer's own writing. The more a writer is exposed to books, each with varying sentence structures, styles, and flaws, the more a writer can learn to recognize what works and what doesn't in each of their favorite books. Reviewing a book forces a writer to go through the story with a fine-toothed comb. They catch plot holes and flat characters, poor pacing and clunky prose, dull protagonists, underdeveloped villains, and even inconsistencies like it's snowing in June. By addressing these areas in the books they are reading and sharing their findings with others, the writer becomes better at picking through their own books in the same manner. The questions a reviewer poses when taking notes on a book are those they should present to themselves when self-editing. Self-editing is a must-have skill for any writer, whether they mean to self-publish or go traditional, and can be developed when a writer starts by reviewing the books of others. As a writer goes through what they love or hate in a book and why, they can ask more fundamental questions about plot, prose, or character, sharpening not only their book reviews with time, but their own works of fiction. The next reason is street cred. If a writer builds a healthy following through a blog or AuthorTube, they establish themselves as an expert on that topic. A writer who writes fantasy would ideally read fantasy, and therefore write reviews on such books. By doing so, writers, in a sense, give themselves street credit. If someone becomes renowned for sharing compelling reviews on fantasy books, their followers trust them. When the book reviewer then presents a book trailer for their own story, people will feel comfortable giving the book a chance, not only because the writer has attracted their target audience to their blog in the first place, but because they have demonstrated that they understand how stories work and how they could be improved. If your prospective reader has seen you discuss pacing, prose problems, or asserted why certain books succeeded or failed, they're going to trust you know what you're talking about. You've shown you know stories, and that you should be able to catch the same mistakes in your own writing. This isn't to say you won't make mistakes. Every book does, but it is likely you'll have less than a complete beginner, and your audience will assume as much too. Which brings me to my next point, the target audience. As mentioned in the last point, starting a book review channel or blog can attract a following of the readers you want to advertise to in the first place. If you're a fantasy writer who reviews fantasy books, you're going to bring in an audience comprised entirely of those you hope to sell your own books to. You'll also gain a following of readers who are like-minded. They will like your reviews, enjoying the same things in books that you do. If the chosen one trope is one which grates on you, and something you criticize in each book which doesn't, you'll attract readers who feel the same way, and who will therefore like your book all the more for not having said trope. When a writer has built up a decent following reviewing books, they can drop a book trailer. Their large subscriber count will generate a decent number of views for said trailer and to people who it's relevant to, which is more effective than a limited ad campaign being blasted to random people who probably don't care. Instead, the trailer is only being presented to exactly the kind of people who are interested. This, coupled with the street cred established by the writer, will lead to many not only seeing the trailer, but actually purchasing the book. Even if the writer's book doesn't align perfectly with their reviews, such as the case of a fantasy reviewer writing a romance, a following still means more eyeballs on that book trailer, and therefore more purchases from those interested. In conclusion, there are numerous reasons a fiction writer should also review books, whether it's to earn extra money, improve their writing skills, connect with their ideal audience, or just have fun. A love of reading is what made writers become writers in the first place, and is a love that should remain with them as they hone their craft. As Stephen King put it, if you don't have the time to read, you don't have time or the tools to write. Simple as that. What kind of books would you review? Are there other activities you'd recommend authors do? I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. Thank you for watching.